Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. Including people with Down syndrome is a good thing. I am a 25-year-old North Carolina native. I'm the oldest of 3 boys, and I graduated from Holly Springs High School in 2017. A little over a year ago, I realized a lifelong dream when I moved into an apartment with my younger brother, and my mom helps me with some stuff, but I am responsible for paying my rent and taking care of the apartment. I've been skydiving and rappelling. I love to travel, and I've given a TEDx talk. I've been interviewed for 5 different podcasts. I also host 2 of my own. I love Broadway musicals. My favorite is anything by Andrew Lloyd Webber. I am a prehistory fanatic, and I love ballroom dancing with my girlfriend, Lucia. I also have Down syndrome. Down syndrome is the most common genetic condition, and there is no cure. 1 out of 700 babies born in the U.S. has Down syndrome. Just like in the typical population, there's a range of ability among those of us with Down syndrome. There is always some level of cognitive delay. Down syndrome doesn't care about your race, gender, nationality, religion, or how much money you have. We are students, co-workers, volunteers, friends, and community members, and so much more. I've been a community volunteer since 6th grade, and currently I volunteer with GG's Playhouse as board liaison between the Generation G Youth Board and the Board of Directors. And I was recently appointed to First in Families of North Carolina Board of Directors. I work at Ruckus, Pizza, Pasta, and Spirits in Cary, where I am part of the team. The managers are supportive and have high expectations of me. I started with just 6 hours a week, wiping menus, folding pizza boxes, and rolling silverware. Now I work 20 hours a week, and I get to bus tables, see guests, and take orders. I also work at 321 Coffee. I started as a volunteer and am now one of 50-plus paid baristas. I am also a coffee bean roaster. 321 is a coffee shop staffed by people with disabilities. I got my first job at Chick-fil-A in Holly Springs. It was quite a process. They were hesitant to hire me, and I had to go back 3 times after I filled out my application just to get an interview. Finally, they gave me a chance. I worked there for 6 years as a dining room host and food runner. I learned so much at Chick-fil-A. Before theaters closed due to COVID restrictions, I worked at the AMC movie theater in Holly Springs. Funny story, we quickly discovered that being a server in a dark theater with stairs was not the best job for me. I had 2 epic soda spills on my first 2 days. They were all really cool about it, and we realized I was a really good ticket taker. I love politics, so I was really excited when I got to work in the North Carolina legislature for Representative John Bradford for 2 sessions. I learned how government works, helped file some bills, and had the best time of my life. I served as deputy campaign chair for both of John's re-election campaigns to the North Carolina legislature. He's a wonderful advocate for those of us with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I'm glad he won again. like most of you, I've gained so much from the various jobs I've had. Skills, knowledge, experience, confidence, self-control. Working helps me grow and gives me purpose. Unfortunately, 80% of individuals with Down syndrome are unemployed. And of the 20% that are employed, most are underemployed. I wonder why. Because interacting with people who have Down syndrome makes you more empathetic, patient, and understanding. Companies that are committed to hiring, training, and retaining people with Down syndrome report positive feedback from coworkers and customers. A diversified workforce promotes an inclusive culture where differences, perspectives, and creativity are valued. Including people with Down syndrome will improve organizational health, change the overall perception of the business, and might even earn tax benefits. We are reliable, dedicated, and punctual employees. We have positive and measurable effects on leadership development and collaboration. And we want to work. Wow, that's a great description of me. Well, speaking of me, including people with Down syndrome is good for me and people like me. I need meaningful employment. I need to be as independent as possible. And I need an inclusive community. And so do you. GG's Playhouse is a Down syndrome achievement center that offers educational and therapeutic programming to individuals with Down syndrome. GG's Playhouse works to advance literacy and math skills, motor skills, self-esteem, employment prep, and independent living skills. We support and educate parents, siblings, and the community. The first Playhouse in the network opened in the Chicago area in 2003. We opened in Raleigh in 2016, thanks to Jeannie Hoffman, which is here today. We were there in 2016 and served the community for more than 6 years. This past February, we moved into our forever home right here in the Walker in downtown Cary. All programs are free of charge, and we are mostly volunteer-run. We would love for you to become part of the GG's Playhouse family. You can help us as a donor, volunteer, employer, or just following us on social media and sharing our posts. Please see me later this evening if you would like to schedule a tour of our awesome playhouse. In 2019, I started my own public speaking business, Matthew Schwab Speaks. My business allows me to create awareness and educate about Down syndrome, encourage acceptance of people with Down syndrome, change perceptions and dispel myths about Down syndrome, and advocate for people with Down syndrome. One way I accomplish this is through legislative change. I have participated in Advocacy Day in the North Carolina General Assembly for the North Carolina Down Syndrome Alliance for several years. And just last month, my girlfriend, Lucia, and I had the opportunity to speak to U.S. representatives and senators in Washington, D.C. as part of the National Down Syndrome Society's Advocacy Hill Day. I invite you to help me promote acceptance and inclusion of people with Down syndrome, especially in the workplace. I had Down syndrome before I was born. I will have it my whole life. But as you can see, it is just one part of me. Feel free to notice my differences, but please focus on the overwhelming ways I am just like you. Thank you very much for